What's up, everybody? I'm doing two devices right now. I'm doing a YouTube pre-recorded, and I'm doing live on Facebook, so bear with me. I know it's Saturday. Many of you have different plans right now. You're doing your things, but I wanted to get this out of the way. I'm gonna be kind of, summarize here some of the things that have been happening. I'm so excited. Got to see my brother Higan this weekend so far. He's staying with us for a few days. We had a very cool seminar yesterday at my academy. So I just want to chat with you guys a bit about some of the things I've been listening to and talking to. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, my brother. So anyhow, I'm going to say hi to all you guys in a second. I'm just kind of getting the warm-up going. I'm so excited. We have podcasts being activated again. We have, blogs and ebooks, so many things stacked up. Yeah, I know that people a lot of times ask me, Carlos, how do you do this? How do you do that? As long as I have time to teach and practice my jiu-jitsu, I think the world will be a better place. Are you all with me on that one? What's up, AJ? Vicky, how are you doing? JD. All right, so we're gonna kind of get the ball rolling, and I'm doing this other recording on my other device on YouTube. So if you see a little bit of me turning around, I'm looking to two cameras right now. So I'm doing it kind of like the best I can with what I've got, okay? It's exciting right now, huh? We have Holloway versus Poirier, and then we have Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. You guys watching the UFC in a bit? Man, that seems to be a good card, I'm telling you. I'm excited. Anyhow, we're going to go back here, and you may have read the headlines. I want to just kind of make sure you guys understand here that mindset for me is a way to improve my jiu-jitsu and also my life. So a lot of times the parallel, and it's funny because many of you can relate to me. A lot of times when you do something on the mat and you apply that outside the mat, in your real life, your patience level increases when you become more trained in jiu-jitsu. That's a fact of life because you're more relaxed, your endorphins are higher, you have more of a purpose, you feel like motivation to get better at something. So it's really, I had students in the past, man, they had all kind of problems. It could be like they were overweight, it could be that they were drinking, they were smoking, they were doing things they're not supposed to. And a lot of times people, they think that you're going to just cold turkey, just stop everything. And not everybody is designed to act like that and to do that. They don't have that ability to just go cold turkey. And of course, sometimes, people just don't want to go gradual, like, oh, I'm going to stop here a little bit there, a little bit there. I'll tell you the formula that I've done that works the best is this, okay? When you have a bowl with mud, if you keep putting clean water on, flushing it, going all the time, the water starts to make the mud go up to the surface and eventually spill out. So in that situation, the longer the water runs, the less and less mud will remain on the bowl, up to the point that the bowl is going to be all clean. And I think with our minds, it's kind of the same approach. A lot of times you want to get good thoughts and do good things and things like that. By the way, guys, I'm here. There's a dog loose right here that might pee on the carpets. My daughter is supposed to be in charge. She's nowhere to be seen. I'll let the dog pee on the carpet, and I'll make sure that I'll rub her face on it afterwards. Forgive me, just kind of not being sensitive right now. But it's all good. Let's go back to what we're saying. But anyhow, going back to the replacing of the mind, you have to really cultivate. You have to cultivate, your mind, and it's kind of like shedding your skin. Like an old skin in a new skin. Snakes do that all the time, when the season changes. So one of the things that we a lot of times don't do, and I'm going back to the students that had bad habits and how they became better at dealing with their bad habits as they progressed and got deeper into the jiu-jitsu. One of the things that happened is the purpose. They felt they had a reason. They had the reason to abandon or slow down or stop altogether a bad habit because they wanted to get better at jiu-jitsu. One of the guys that I had that used to be a heavy smoker, he said, man, once I started doing jiu-jitsu, it was easier for me to, not to smoke as much or to stop smoking altogether because I felt that, it was a no-brainer. I was feeling, happy with the way I was going, with my progress. And the same thing with drinking. Jason Anderson can relate to that. He used to smoke 1.5 packs of cigarettes a day. And then I guess once he decided to do jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu became that motivator. And that's the thing that people sometimes, I call that a pillar, all right? People a lot of times, pillars are when everything goes down. When a tornado blows, the building can go, but the pillar is what keeps it standing, you know? And sometimes I mentioned that earlier, it could be family, it could be your faith, it could be some idea that you have that you should always fight and keep on being persistent when things don't go your way. But when you do jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu is always there. So I always tell my guys, you know, man, if you're having challenges, if there's something going on in your life that's not supposed to be the case, that's one more reason for you to do jiu-jitsu, because how many times I've seen those guys turn things around, and if they didn't have that time of the day that their mind would become fresh, they would kind of just put good things in, focus on the training, focus on improving themselves, regardless of all the crap they're going through. He was able to clear their vision, clear their mind, and give them a bit of focus. And I'm going back here, some of the notes that I made, because the question mark, you know, about the questions that many of us have, it's kind of like they're like, imagine a maze, and the answer is like, let's say, in the middle of the maze. And for you to reach out the maze, man, you have to really develop all that ESP, all that sensitivity, all that extra perception that I think jiu-jitsu gives us, you know? And why is that? Because jiu-jitsu, first thing in jiu-jitsu, what's the first rule in jiu-jitsu? You gotta learn how to feel, you know? You gotta feel. So once you start feeling, then you start to understand what's going on, and eventually you articulate the technique, okay? But it shouldn't be the other way around. Feel first, articulate later, then put stress on the technique, challenge the technique, then you can adjust, memorize, and build up the muscle memory to the point that you can be kind of like a guided missile. If you go train with anybody, it doesn't matter if different people react different ways, you find your way to the maze and find the answer to your questions or to your pursuit, okay? So, by the way, if any of you want the secrets of the scissor sweep, I did this cool, 45-minute to an hour video that I'm giving out for free. Just check out my new site at www.carlosmachadobjjsecrets.com and check out, there's a lot of leverage there. I remember some people were saying, man, if I go against a big guy and the guy's like a rock, like a building, he doesn't move. And I have a few things there for the guys that have beer belly. How do you sweep a guy with a beer belly, or guys who are much bigger than you? It's just where you place your knees and how you crunch your body. Because it's kind of like when you keep your body extended, your legs are weak. When you crunch, you kick and punch at the same time. So it's kind of like a whole body movement, So just check it out, guys. It's free. CarlosMachadoBJJSecrets.com. All right? If you haven't already gotten that. I know some of you, I see Greg Jarvis. What's up, bud? Ricky Pinkney, Jerry Smith. Good to see you all. So I'm going back here now and do the lines, so I don't want to take too much of your time because I know it's Saturday. Okay, so I talked about the maze idea, all right? So anytime you're in pursuit of an answer to something, it's like a maze, and the question is not going to be answered until you get to the center of the maze. So you really have to learn how to be able to move in different directions, move back to the side, left and right. So a lot of times one step back is not necessarily bad if you're going to kind of go and do a step to the side and then a couple steps forward. So there's not a formula, that each person is unique. You can use each other's experience. I think resilience, not being easily discouraged. A lot of times what I compare when you're doing the baby steps, that's when you make the most mistakes. No baby will learn how to walk if they were discouraged every time they fell. But if we had the adult mindset on a baby's brain, none of us would be walking, because you'll be whining and crying every time you fell on your butt, and you think that you're failing and this and that. Babies don't have time to think about those things. They keep on trying, and it's amazing that tenacity kind of like when we become more mature and think about things, we start to think too much and overanalyze what happened to us. There's some training that a lot of people that go into the armed services and the military. One of the things that they learn about resilience is if they're in a boot camp, besides all this physical stress, they try to break the guys more with the emotional stress. You have the sergeant, that's going to be yelling and calling you names and doing all kind of things to try to disrupt your focus and stuff. So words are blown by the wind. Anything that can be blown by the wind has no reason nor merit to disrupt your focus or your emotions. A lot of people get caught up into this thing that people can call you names, or they can make, a lot of times you have people making judgment on you or making comments about you behind your back and this and that. There are two types of people that do that. I think it's shitty, no matter who they are, whether they have the reason or not. The fact they don't have the guts, the balls to tell you on your face what they really think, that shows that person doesn't deserve your relationship, if that's the case. But the second part is the two question, real quick. What is that guy saying? Is that true? No, it's not true. So he's full of crap. He's envious, he's jealous, whatever. He's a hater. I have no time for him. Poor guy. You go your way, I go my way. If the guy says something that actually has merit, you listen to what the guy's saying, despite the fact that I feel if the guy doesn't tell in your face, that's a mistake right there from his part. And I don't think you should give that guy the benefit of the doubt again if he keeps doing that. But if he says something that matters, you make sure that you use that as a motivation for you to get better at, So going back to the baby steps, that's the time that you make the most mistakes, meaning when you're in the start or anything, you're a white belt getting better in jiu-jitsu, man, you're going to make left and right mistakes, my goodness. But when you walk on a line, you have a line, suspended in the air. Now you're trying to balance yourself out and walk on the line. It's not a big deal when it's close to the floor. If you fall, it's just and you start going up. It's no big deal if you have an air mattress or a net, a safety net, so you can fall upon it like people doing circles and things like that. But sometimes life is going to put you in a position that you're going to be really high, and there's not going to be anything to hold you down below if you fall. So you got to be prepared from the easiest to the hardest possible situation. And I don't think anybody should put themselves at risk, but you should prepare to the most, whatever adversity, So anyhow, the gradual incremental approach that everybody uses, everybody learns their own way. Some people learn faster. You have some guys who are fast learners in the beginning. They feel like, my gosh, this guy's going to be the Michael Jordan of jiu-jitsu. This guy's so talented. He can do a jumping triangle in his first class. You know what I'm saying? And you start to compare and judge your abilities because there's some guy out there who's somewhat of a prodigy. But you know what is not usually the guys that have talent that finish the cross line first? Is the guy that don't give crap about how things are. They just keep on going. They just keep on moving. They just keep on acting. And I've had guys, man, that I've had a chance to go against that they are not the most talented, but they were the most difficult athletes I have ever faced in my entire life. Because mentally, they were not blown by words. And, if you want to hurt them, they would be bruised up. They were going to still keep on going. They wouldn't care. There was no such a thing for them as quitting, So those guys are the ones that a lot of times, you see some guys that have a lot of talent, but because talent can be sometimes a spoiler in the sense that you get used to things coming easy to you because you don't have, I guess, to make as much effort as the average Joe. But man, it's only when you conciliate talent with resilience and commitment and dedication and work ethics that you have a guy like Michael Jordan or a guy like Tom Brady. Tom Brady, after he plays a Sunday game at 10:30 in the evening, he's watching the tapes and the videos of the game, and he tries to see what else he could have done to read the other team's defense and things like that. Or Michael Jordan throwing, the ball after a game was over, winning or losing, he didn't care. So, there's a hyper achievers. They have some traits that's not for the faint of heart. But Ricky Pickens saying right there, hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Being an athlete at Purdue, you can tell, man, it's not an easy route right there, and you're an amazing guy. Do you remember your most difficult no-brother opponent? Yeah, I had a guy I fought at that time when I was a rookie black belt. His name was Marcos Andre, like Andrew without the W. And he was wiping everybody out in the jiu-jitsu world at that time. He was an Olympian judo. So conditioning wise, he was way above everybody else, had incredible standing. And the guy was like a machine, you know. It was just like a, and I was just a young rookie, you know, still skinny and not yet on my groove in the black belt. So I had to face that guy. But I did follow the Bruce Lee approach. I trained a move 1,000, even before I even heard of it. I did 1,000 reps a day of the move I wanted to apply against that guy whenever I had the chance to compete against him, which was already scheduled. I knew he was going to be on my bracket at one point in time. So when we met, it was like I was completely focused on what I had to do. So I took the guy down. I was the first jiu-jitsu guy in the entire time during that period that was able to take down the Olympian judo guy who was a phenom in jiu-jitsu too. And I obliterated him, you know, but it was a mix of strategy, hard training, and of course my own skill level that I think I was able to flourish because I had a game plan that I followed to the letter. And he did not see that coming, you know. So going back here, you know, a lot of times too, if you read something, you know, a lot of times you have to interpret first. Interpret is the part that, what the heck is this? What does this mean? You know, what does the guy mean? What do I understand about what the guy means? You got to really be able to sort things out before you you understand and make sense of something. You know what I'm saying? Because before you own it, before you apply knowledge, before you embrace knowledge or even discard knowledge, you have to really be aware that, you know, people have what they call cognitive dissonance. They think they're understanding things or interpreting things. Oh, this is what the author wants to say. Oh, okay. Which is completely different than what the reality is. You know, so a lot of times we really have to train ourselves because there's so much bias and misinformation mixed up with the real information that you really have to try to go to the core, you know, whatever it is that you do, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be walking on the high line with no safety net, and one day when life puts you to the test, if your information is faulty or your belief is faulty, your assumption is faulty, you know, once you fall, there's not going to be anything to buffer you from the ground, okay? So just keep that in mind. And I guess, and I was listening to Dan Pena, which I recommend you guys checking the guy out. Crazy old man that, you know, he tells as it is, and he's amazing. He's advice, you know, to different things that people can do to improve their lives. But we can have another talk about that at a different time. Right now, affirmation, you know, people talk about, you know, you speak to yourself what you really want to see happening. You say loud, you know. You don't have to tell anybody, but make this exercise and look at yourself as that person that became or accomplished what it is that you're affirming, you know, and act resilience and relentlessly towards whatever it is. When you have those three combined, it's like an explosive combination. And, you know, so just keep that in mind. At night before you go to bed, you know, if you get too tired, and I'm not saying here self-talk with no sense. No, I'm just saying, man, I'm gonna make an experiment. You guys do that for 7 days and tell me later what you felt. You know, make a list of 5 things or 7 things, one after the other, sentences of things that you want to see happening. You know, and repeat after that as if it was already happening. Repeat in the present. Don't say it's in the future. You know, teach your brain and your subconscious to take it because it cannot distinguish what it is and what it isn't. You tell them what it is, you believe you're going to do it, and you start working towards it. And it's an accelerator. So I want to make sure you guys take advantage of our brains, you know, our minds, because that's the most potent machine that there is. You know, emotions, like I said, it's just words blown by the wind. You know, don't let emotions like a volcano. If you have thin skin, anything can disrupt you. Man, how many options you're going to have when things are challenging? You know what I'm saying? You got to be focused, man. You got to hold your breath when you're going to shoot that target, you know? So anyhow, okay, Robert, you're saying for that week, this is an exercise for life. It's an exercise for life because goals never cease. You know what I'm saying? And I feel too, people talk, you know, I'm going to kind of give you on the side note here, retirement. I think retirement is the beginning of dying. All right. So I feel like anytime you stop producing, you stop learning, you stop growing, that's stagnation. Stagnation is the definition of death for me, you know. So just keep that in mind. Keep on doing it. What's up, Eva? Good to see you, Mr. Larry Keith. Albert Cuccinello says, I'm 60, professor. Love the challenges of starting this journey at 58. Learn like a child, and you have room to grow at any age. See, Albert, this is the formula, I believe, for long living, you know, for longevity, is you're never too old to enjoy life or enjoy doing the things that make you happy, you know. So make sure that, you know, it's the way you do it. Of course, you know, if you're 60 right now, you're not going to just try to go against the 20-year-old and tap out the world champion every time you go grapple. No. Have fun with it. Train smart, you know, be humble, you know, and stay on course. Okay, that's great, man. I'm so happy for you. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you. Good to see you, Greg. Okay, so here, Ricky Pickney. Thank you so much for your input, Ricky. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's another thing here. Ricky Pickney said, when you're younger, you're not tarnished by the poisons of the world. You know, a younger person has still more pure mind and heart. Their ambitions know no boundaries. How many kids say in the beginning when they're young, "Oh, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be, you know, I want to own an entire state. You know, I want to buy a building in the middle of New York, the tallest building." They have all these, because that's imagination. That's that part. Imagination, Albert Einstein always said that imagination is more important than anything. Because if you can imagine, if you can conceive, you can realize. You know, it's the beginning of making things come into fruition. You know, the alchemy. What's up, Lizzie? Joe Morris. Tom Davey, how you doing, sir? Jesus. Renard. Tom Davey, you did amazing, man. I'm so proud of you for your tournament. You know, I don't even know how many matches you had, but that was awesome to watch, bud. Congratulations there. Jason Anderson saying the video just put out about the cross choke and putting pressure on the back of the neck was fire. Yeah, guys, check out Carlos Machado BJJSecrets.com. Thank you, Jason, for sharing that. Yeah, I think I was just showing how to finish a choke because I've done the choke so many times. I remember I had some students that had big neck and nobody would tap them. And I was kind of actually not able to finish my choke, so I kind of, you know, I started to work using my whole body, and I want you guys to check that out and tell me how it works. Dave Feiner, looking forward to seeing you soon, sir. Good to see you, Joe Morris. All right, Jerry Smith, greetings, sir. Jason Anderson, I say hi to you. Tracy Thompson, Tony Pasansky, how you doing, bud? Did you have a good time right there in Florida, Tony? I saw that you're teaching a seminar at the Europa over there, man. Give me some feedback how it went. I'm sure you did amazing. Okay, so Brian Baldwin, good to see you, sir. Kathy Faust, John Conte, good afternoon. Don Turnage, Dean Strickland, good afternoon, sir. Darren Turner, what's up, bud? Coffee Time with Carlos. Yeah, well, probably I'll keep the Coffee Time. I might change the podcast name. I don't know yet. You guys can give me some feedback, what you think. Happy Saturday, JD. AJ Loving, good to see you, my brother. Vicky, what's up, guys? All right, that's it for now. I just want to make sure that I deliver the message. And thank you, AJ, for your info. A line from one of my favorite poets says, they ask us what we want to be, only to tell us what we can't be. The rhetoric destroys those before they see what's possible from them. That's deep. I tell you what, man. I tell you what. Don't ever let anybody steal your dreams. All right? Nobody. You're going to have a lot of naysayers. But like I told you earlier in this broadcast, words that are blown by the wind, it does not matter. But the only thing that matters is that you believe in it. And I don't think you should share your goals with everybody, but just like-minded people. Watch who you have around you. You know, be selective of your companions, because if you're having people that are putting you down or putting down the things that you're aspiring for, just get rid of them, man. You don't need that weight on your shoulders trying to kind of be naysayers and negative every time you have a good idea. Even if it's not the right idea, it's better that you try it and find out whether it's good or not than assuming because somebody told you so and you regret later not ever giving it a try. Okay? What's up, Bill? Who's there again? Bill Scoggins. What's up, Billy? Good to see you, my brother. All right, that's the talk of the day. I want to just say good night to everybody. Good luck to all the fighters at the UFC. I got some work to do right now, but I wanted to stop on a high note here. Yeah, we're going to keep coffee time with Carlos Machado. No worries. Thank you, wifey. Take care, everybody.